I think Judge has them all.
Have which one?
All the White House did.
Oh, yes. Here's one. There you go. Hey, there's nothing. You know, I cherish those whiteouts because in school we had the paper mate. And you have to blow it and make sure it dries.
Painted on there.
Oh, gosh, yes.
This is a movie. I think I have it. Yes. Because I did some work with.
No.
Oh,
No.
you don't want to- You don't have that.
No.
It's not in the file. Oh, okay.
So,
Do you know if he defaulted or does he not?
Hello. Oh, I'm doing great. We had a tour this morning. That's why we started the docket in the afternoon.
a tour?
Yes, we had 82 first graders.
Oh, my. Okay.
And they were so well behaved. But they were from the Young Women's Leadership Academy
Okay.
primary. So they came, and guess what? When the teacher wants them to be quiet, you know what she says? Waterfall. And then all the first graders sound like waterfalls. They're like, shh. And so everybody is quiet, but they were awesome.
We're gonna hang on to the phone.
Everyone, we're gonna call the docket at 1:30, so we have 2 minutes.
No.
All right, if everyone can please take your seat. And we will call the docket. All right, when I call your name, please stand. Let me know you are here. I say stand because it's easier for the deputies to see you. If we don't see you, if you don't announce when your name is called, we're going to assume you're not here and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. Joanna Reyes. Thank you. In custody, we have Carlos Ruiz, Beverly Zuniga, Thilda Thanasuk,
Judge, I'm present for her.
custody.
Okay.
Thank you. But I like the way you were scanning the courtroom. Summer Bailey is in custody. Kendall Blunt. Thank you. Jesus Garza.
He's in federal custody, Judge.
Okay. And custody is Cameron Lawrence. Jordan Robbins. Alexander Castro. Nicholas Aguilar. Nicholas Aguilar. Andrew Arnett.
Council's present. There, I spoke to him this morning. I'll give him a call. He was here at 1:30.
All right. Jesse Garcia, custody. Alfredo Cardona.
Present.
Anthony White.
I'm present for him, Judge. He should be here. We spoke to him this morning.
All right, we're gonna have to find out how to pronounce his middle name. Viva Mok, maybe it's misspelled. Renee Dela Cruz, custody. MC Reed, is he in custody? Thank you. Joshane Caldwell. Thank you. How do you pronounce your first name? Jashane. Okay. Vicente Navarrete. In custody is Justine Summy, Troy Harris, Christopher Suniga, Marie Fuller, Alfredo Cardona. Thank you. Jasmine Hunt, custody. Tanya Artiega, custody. Jesse Garcia, custody. Isaac Alcorta, custody. Yes. All right, thank you. Josiah Williams, custody. Marcus Hernandez. Jose Gallegos. Jose Carrion Pontoya.
I'm present.
All right. And I know I mispronounced the last name. I'm working on my J's. William Chapman. Thomas Blinko. Vincent Moore. Is that Isa? De Los Santos? All right, thank you. All right, is there anyone whose name was not called or you came in late? All right, these are the rules of the court. And I'm going to ask that everybody follow the rules of the court. Don't disappoint me on following the rules. I say this because we are starting today at 1:30 because we had 82 first graders to give a tour to. They followed all of the rules to the letter. So I know that we are beyond the age of first graders, so we can do it. So let's not disappoint the Young Women's Leadership Academy. So these are the rules. Criminal trial division files over there. Family violence files over there. Whatever your client's name is, just grab the file, place it on the table. We have holidays that are coming up. I know no one wants to go back home sick. And this is flu season, pneumonia season, COVID season, leprosy season, you name it. That's the season. And I do not kid about leprosy because it's coming from Florida. That's what they said. If you have a client who's in custody, ask the deputy to bring them out. When we are on the record, please do not talk to your client in the box behind the court reporter. Just ask the deputy, they'll move them towards that end. To my left is the court reporter. She has expensive equipment. Do not lean on her where she's stationed. Do not put your papers, do not do any of that. That equipment is $10,000. If you break it, if you damage it, you will have bought it and you're gonna have to wipe some people off your Christmas gifts. In the back is the probation officer, Vashawn Abrams. Do not put your stuff on her desk. Do not turn your back to her. She's sitting there. She does not want to see your back towards her. Do not put your papers on her desk. That is her desk. Do not approach the court until you confer with the state. If you have someone who's on probation, you need to confer with probation as well. If your client wishes to speak in a language other than English, yes, we do need an interpreter to come down. Do not approach the court coordinator or the clerk asking for a continuance or reset. I'm the only person who can give that to you. And please, when we're on the record, do not approach the coordinator or anyone to this side because it makes it hard for the court reporter to hear. How do you know we're on the record? Because I will call the cause number and the style of the case. So with that being said, it's Monday. I know we all wanted to be retired. We're not. That's a pipe dream. Not going to happen today, or at least this week. So please confer with kindness in your heart, a smile on your face, put some patience in your pocket because you're going to need it when you go shopping for the holidays anyway. So everyone, please confer and let's have a great Monday. Yes, they are. Do you want to grab them? Yes. Yes, sir. I didn't get a chance to go, but I'll go to the main. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and Norma, if I can see the file on Mr. Blunt. Kendall Blunt, if you'll come forward, please. All right, if y'all could keep the aisle clear, please. Yes,
I did reach out to Normal before, but
yes.
rather than have him come back on Thursday, we just decided, I can confer today.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
today is the plea deadline date.
Okay.
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Blunt, you can have a seat. MC Reed. I don't think they brought him out.
He's not here.
Oh, he's in another county.
Yes, but that's my announcement. It's just that he's
All right, so which county is he in?
Guadalupe.
Norma, can we make, because they were supposed to have disposition on this case today. Is there still going to be disposition with what's happening in Guadalupe?
Hopefully so.
All right,
I think, I don't know if the status of the parole, we reset at one point for him to get the status on the parole. Once we got that, I was able to confer with the state and try to go for an offer. Now that he has been picked up, despite them saying that he wasn't going to initially, I don't know if that's changed. So I'm gonna have to figure that out with him.
all right, so when are you planning on doing that?
The moment he gets brought back to San Antonio.
Well, no, I mean, we can have Norma see, Norma, Guadalupe, are they good with Zoom or no?
Not really, like I think try to make more ASAP.
All right, so what we'll do then, Norma, let's see, you think maybe we can put this on the 18th? Is that possible or is that not possible?
That's not possible.
All right, what date? It's gonna have to be the new year.
Yeah, no, that's preferable.
I can do the 5th, January 5th.
All right, so we'll do January 5th. And if you want to see if Guadalupe can arrange for a Zoom, we can do it by Zoom too.
I've tried that before in the past on misdemeanors and they don't. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Criminal Trial Division. There's this one. I don't know if you all have any objections. If you do, let me know. Hello.
Hi.
Norma, I think they're serious about Odyssey. I just got an email for tips and tricks.
Yeah. I gotta do some training. They said I got to some training.
Yes, I need to do some training as well.
Like, when it's working,
Well,
I said, okay.
yes, and so, so really.
Yeah, but he needs to be. He needs to kind of. use big things last time. But he's.
Judge, no, Judge.
All right, thank you.
They were like his cheerleaders. What?
Excuse me, could I have whiteout?
All right, an attorney had my file up and. See too much. I thought he was here.
All right, just give me a moment on your case. Thomas Blinko?
I mean,
Hello. Yes.
he's in Austin, Texas, in a sober living environment.
Mhm.
He didn't have access to get here. And I'm a little unclear as to actually what's going on in this case.
But he's going to be revoked, actually, the one where he needs to come in
Mhm.
and get revoked.
All right, he needs to get here tomorrow.
We've done this since like a couple of months before.
No, it's been a couple of months. So he needs to be here tomorrow. If he's not here tomorrow, then he's gonna get arrested.
Figure this out.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, Norma, on that one, it's coming back tomorrow. He just not here. Warrant's gonna be there. Yes. What page is he on? Okay, thank you. Vicente Navarrete? Hello, Judge.
So we're,
On this one, it's the Padilla letter.
yes, ma'am, and the recommendation came in this morning. I've talked to the state about it. And so as a result of Mr. Navarrete's situation, we're gonna try for PTD. So I've given him the application. He's filling it out. I will turn it in to the fourth floor window before I leave the courthouse.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, PTD?
I can do, January. Well,
All right, we'll be back on January 12th of 2024. Just sign the reset form and your excuse.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Marcus Hernandez. And then after that, it will be Kendall Blunt. Okay, let's see what I have. Is this the question about transferring him back to regular caseload, or is there something else?
No, Judge, just, an overall status of where he is with his cases. There are 2 cases. And he was on for 6 years and he's already been extended an additional 4 years. So we're getting toward the end of his term. February will mark the end of the term. However, he, due to circumstances, has been unable to pay his fees. I think you wanted to talk to him about that.
All right, so what I can tell you, and I will listen to you with an open mind, but the report I received, and I don't know if that's still the case or not, they say that you haven't provided proof of your disability. Have you provided that?
Well, I mean, not recently, but I mean, I've done it multiple times. Yes, ma'am, I have.
All right, so the report I'm receiving is that you haven't provided proof of your disability, so they need that.
Okay.
So you wanted to address the restitution? Well, there's no restitution. You wanted to address the fees?
Oh, I don't know, ma'am. They just told me to come. I don't,
Well, I see here that are you still living with your mother?
no, I live on Fredericksburg Road
No, I mean, who do you live with?
with me and my kids and her mother and mom.
All right. So you're unemployed because
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
getting SSI.
Yes, ma'am.
And is the mother of the children
No,
employed?
No, she doesn't.
Why not?
Because me and my 2 daughters get social security. That's how I pay for everything.
So why do your 2 daughters have social
My,
security?
3 of my daughters are partially deaf. They wear hearing aids,
Okay,
so they get it for that. Their death here, their disability is their death.
All right. And so does your girlfriend have children?
Yeah, them, my kids.
Your children are her children?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I didn't know those were her biological.
Oh, yes,
children.
ma'am, yes, ma'am.
All right. So this is what I don't understand. You have fees that you're supposed to pay.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You're receiving SSI. You're gonna turn over information that you're receiving
Oh, yes,
SSI.
ma'am. I mean, well, I have the paper, but it's probably from like last year, year before that, so I probably have to get a new one, right?
And then your children receive SSI.
Yes, ma'am.
And the children's mother doesn't work.
Oh,
Does she have a disability?
yes, so yeah, somewhat, she's trying to get social security for herself.
For what?
She's a little nuts in her head. She got some bipolar, schizophrenic bipolar or something like that.
So is she on medication?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
That's why earlier I called because she has a doctor's appointment with her psychiatrist tomorrow. Cause I was supposed to come, I had to pick up my kids today, but I kept them home, so they switched it, but I said, well, she has an appointment.
How old are
tomorrow.
your children?
8, no, 9, 5, 4, and 2.
All right, so you switched appointments for them?
Yeah, well, my daughter, my 2-year-old, she goes to speech therapy for, like I said, they're dead. So she goes to speech therapy and sees her other therapist every Tuesday.
All right.
Judge, the SSI proof
Mhm.
that we have scanned in the system was April 2022. So we would need something updated.
So I'm saying, so I have to get I mean, it's probably gonna take a while, cause I gotta call them to mail me the form, you know, I just gotta call it.
All right, you need to do that.
Yes, ma'am. But like I said, I do it, they just never really told me to do it again, so I.
All right, so you're learning now,
But I'll do it.
so you need to have that done. And
Do
is
you
that
need for me and my 2 kids or just mine?
just yours?
Okay,
Judge P has completed everything else on probation, all of his other mandated courses. His UAs have been coming out fine. He does have prescriptions on file and also his medical information on file on why he would, yeah. So the only issues that we're having is, like I said, the fees on both cases. He's coming to the point to where he can't be extended.
Okay, well, I want you to get that information to probation, because until you get that to them, then I don't have proof of your disability.
no, I do.
So you need to get that. And then with regards to your mental health issues, are you still seeing a psychiatrist?
Yes,
Do you have a
ma'am.
case manager?
Yes, ma'am. No, I don't have a case manager, but I see my psychiatrist, not 3 times, every 3 months I see her.
Okay, and is everything going okay with you?
Yeah, for the most, yes, ma'am.
All right, so what we'll do, once he turns in that letter of disability, then probation, you can send me appropriate paperwork and I'll consider it.
That's true.
All right, do you have any other questions or issues?
No, so just mine though, right now, my kids, just my,
Yours.
okay. Yes.
All right, thank you. And could I see the parties on Blunt? Oh, do you have a file for this one, or is this something?
No, he just all out of the way.
Okay.
Prosecutor does-
Oh, is he on the docket today?
No.
All right, on Blunt, today is plea deadline day. So what is happening?
Judge, we did discover that there was a cell phone extraction done in the case, and we don't have a copy of that. I've given the state a hard drive, a flash drive for them to download a copy of that for us. So, I mean, until we have that, we're not able to fully confer and about any type of offer. So I would like one more setting. We can wait, we can get a copy of that from the state and we'll have that at the next.
Okay, so here's the court's problem, and I know you're new here. This case has been on our docket since 2021 of March. So why is the phone dump just now occurring here in 2023, almost 2024? Why is that just now being brought up?
Well, I can tell you Judge Charles Bunk just got hired in September, so we've been going through all the discovery and everything that we have, and it's today when I looked through the file with the state, there is a phone dump that we're not in possession of.
And Judge, I can get started on getting her a copy as soon as I have time to run up and get a disk drive. I can start the process of dumping it on the USB drive that she gave me. I'm not sure what took it so long for the phone dump to get in the file, but it looks like it got into the file sometime after March 29th of this year, Judge. So I can make sure they get a copy of it as soon as possible.
All right, so is this the only discovery?
I believe so, yes.
As
sir.
far as I know, Judge,
All right, how long is this jury trial going to take?
at least a week, Judge.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date for this case. So it will be jury trial date and your plea deadline date.
March 12th.
Okay. All right, is that spring break?
I don't have the copies.
All right, does anybody know when spring break is? The people who have children who are spring break age, March 12th? Because I know jurors are not going to want to be here for spring break, and then attorneys have spring break issues.
Spring break starts the 11th, Judge.
March 11th is spring break. Thank you. The rest of you, I know you have children, and I am embarrassed for you that you didn't know that off the top of your head. Should I call some attorneys out? I don't know. Orlando.
I'm putting my notice in this afternoon.
All right, so March 12th is out, Norma. And I'm assuming spring break, is that a week?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know why I look at Amy when I say that, but. February 13th.
That should work for us, Judge.
All right, just sign the reset form and you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. And Norma, that's the jury trial date and plea deadline date. Oh, I'm sorry, could you hand that file back? I need to write. Vincent Moore. Vincent Moore.
I'm here on, I thought he was set for December 18th. They've dismissed, he has 2 matters going.
Oh, he has a violation report.
Okay, we set for, I have December 18th on my calendar.
All right, Norma, on Vincent Moore, can you look with the violation report?
Just.
Yes.
Did you want to bring in the hybrid meeting?
Yes. So,
Can we get in there tomorrow morning? I guess I was
All
out
right.
on Thursday and Friday.
Ms. Ferguson on Moore, he's gonna bring him in tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes.
Saturday, yes. I told you you had a court date for the 18th and you said no, he needs to come in because you're high, very high pressure.
So he needs to be here tomorrow.
But tomorrow's fine.
All right, it's first thing in the morning. And if he's not here at 9 a.m., a warrant is gonna be issued.
You will be.
Yeah. Yeah. You need to know that it's here. And that she needs to contact me.
All right, who's here on De Los Santos?
We're gonna see if we can't get the case worked out.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Let you know.
All right, thank you. They're gonna work on that. All right, thank you.
Just when you get a chance to, something that you probably don't want on video.
Oh, well, let's step outside. All right, everyone, just give me a moment. Nova? On readiness, what day can we bring that back? And if you could write that in the file, Norma. All right, Jose Gallegos. Hello.
How you doing, man?
All right. Okay, I don't know why I don't have any of this in the file.
Here,
Yes. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Sit down.
All right, Mr. Gallegos, you know we have a problem, right? So why are you not showing up for anything that you're supposed to be showing up for?
I recently had a second job, ma'am.
Mhm.
And I'm staying very, very busy with that. I really don't have no time. Except for like on Sundays.
Here's the problem. I understand what you're telling me. But you're on probation, and
Yes,
when
ma'am.
you're on probation, there are rules. And if people don't want to report for probation, if they don't want to do the classes that they're supposed to do, then that means you're not really on probation. You just signed a piece of paper and you're just still doing whatever you want to do. And that cannot happen.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
And I'm not accepting it as true, but it appears that you have time to use illegal substances, but you don't have time to report. That's gonna stop.
Yes, ma'am.
If you, this is us having a conversation, it's not on record. This is a compliance hearing. This is me trying to get your attention. If you continue the way you're continuing, you know what's gonna end up happening.
Yes, ma'am.
A warrant's gonna be issued for your arrest. You're either gonna make bond or you're not gonna make bond. If you don't make bond, we're gonna have a hearing and they're gonna bring you over from the jail dressed in orange. In which case, nobody's gonna be taking care of your children and you're not gonna have employment.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
So if you drug tested today, what are the results gonna be?
It's gonna be positive,
What are you gonna be positive for?
cocaine.
See, that's a problem. You're not doing what I'm telling you to do. You
Yes,
say
ma'am.
you don't have time to do it because you're working, but you have time to use drugs.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
So who else is at home with your children other than you?
It's me and my wife.
And is she using as well?
Mm,
Judge,
Yes.
if I may, Mr. Gallegos and I spoke briefly before approaching, and he did express some issues that he was going through, which made him relapse. There was a death in the family, which made him relapse, and he says that he's doing much better now because he's keeping himself busy with the 2 jobs. He also indicates that he has a plan in place to get his DWI education and victim impact panel done, as well as his parenting class. He is scheduled to begin his intensive outpatient treatment in January.
All right. This is what we're going to do. And if you do not follow this to the letter, I'm going to end up receiving information that you have not followed it and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. Do you understand?
yes,
You are doing those sober meetings.
yes, ma'am.
And the first one that you have is going to be today.
Okay,
And you're going to do one every day until I tell you to stop.
yes, ma'am.
And you're going to make that January 8th appointment for intensive outpatient treatment through probation.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're gonna follow through.
Okay.
If you don't follow through, a warrant could be issued for your arrest. Probation should be very important. It should be right up there with taking care of your children. And let me tell you why it should be right up there with that. Because if you get revoked on this, you're looking at 10 years in prison.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
then if you were to get 10 years in prison for 10 years at the most, somebody else is gonna be raising your children. It's not gonna be you.
Yes, ma'am,
Do you understand?
I understand.
Anything else, probation?
No, Judge.
All right. I'm notating in the document sheet, although I'll remember it because my mind is a steel trap, but we had this conversation.
Yes,
Is
ma'am.
there anything else that you need help with?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Jordan Robbins. Hello. Good afternoon. So where are we? Let's see. All right, so medical records. That's taken care of?
Not yet, Judge. We had this motion for discovery regarding medical records that we were made aware of on October the 30th. We filed this motion on November the 9th. These are regarding specific tests that were done having to do with reproductive health of the complainant.
All right, is
Particular
is
case.
this a motion that Angelini previously heard? Because I know with regards to some motion, it was either Angelini or Judge Hurd who heard that.
Judge Harrell, I believe. Your Honor.
Carl? All right, and
That
so
was-
he made a ruling on that one, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that was related to mom's medical record, Judge. We just got this information through basically through our client's, health insurance on October 30th, and we filed this motion and alerted the state through their advocate that we would be bringing this motion. It's, would you
All right,
like the
yes,
copy of
because I don't
it?
have it. Thank you.
Okay, may I approach Judge?
Yes. Just give me 1 minute. Let me read this. All right, we're going to go on the record.
Yes, ma'am.
And state you've had a chance to review this motion?
Yes, Judge.
All right, court is calling 2022 CR 11724, State of Texas versus Jordan Luke Robbins. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state
Anna Ochoa Nelson.
defense?
Surgery Bar and Amy Owen from Mr. Robbins.
All right, so the defense has filed a motion for discovery. State, have you had a chance to review that record?
I have, Judge.
All right, or that motion, I'm sorry.
Yes, Judge.
And are you prepared to proceed on the motion?
Yes, Judge.
All right, defense.
Your Honor, we filed this motion on November the 9th after becoming aware on October 30th that these tests had been done. They have to do generally with reproductive health regarding the complainant in this particular case. We do believe that that makes them relevant. I know just in doing some general research on these specific tests, they're not done the usual, usually done for someone of the complainant's age. And so we felt that that was important to at least explore because I know that it's going to have to do with some aspects. There's certainly overlap with some of the allegations that were made in this particular case. So we asked that because it would be difficult, very difficult otherwise, we asked to have the court grant this so that the state can provide that regarding these particular medical records. These have specifically to do with the complainant in this case.
All right, and how is these records related to this trial? Or if you can give me some idea with that so I can see.
I can say, Judge, our understanding is that specifically the tests that were done, that were requested and apparently completed here have to do with certain aspects that just when doing research, it has to do with sexual development. I know that in similar literature, there is talk of, there's discussion about certain allegations, a certain activity that can lead to it, to sexual development that is accelerated. And so our based on what we see on these tests, considering that they're not normal tests that are done on someone of this age, that may make them quite relevant in this particular case.
All right, state.
Judge, I'm not entirely sure how a test done in October of 23 is relevant to allegations stemming from 2020 and 2021. However, the state will inquire a defensive about defensive purpose.
All right, so state, are you in possession of it or no?
We are not in possession of these, Judge.
Okay. All right. All right, I'm gonna give you all a date. And this is gonna be the last date for discovery. There will be no further discovery dates, and I'm gonna write on here, no further discovery dates.
Your Honor, may I add one more thing to the
Yes.
record? And also in conjunction with these medical testing, we're asking for the states to get through the mother, the intake and what was said to the doctors that would cause the doctors to do such invasive testing on a 9-year-old. And so that I think also would go to our defensive theory of the case, Your Honor, as well. So the complete medical record that got this doctor to be able to do these type of tests that are usually done on an individual that is not fertile. And so that's part of our defensive theory of the case as well, Judge.
All right. Well, I'm assuming, and this is me making assumptions, that if the state has the medical records, there would actually be some sort of history presented with the medical records.
Yes, ma'am.
For example, patient is here because, so Norma, we're gonna do a final discovery setting for this in January. And state, I'm gonna put it at the end of January,
Yes, Judge.
and then after that, it's gonna be jury trial.
Yes, ma'am.
And state, I don't know, has an offer been tendered to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And state, if you're intending to make a different offer to them, they'll need to be done on the January date as well.
Sure, Judge.
Okay. And then your jury trial date will be your jury trial date and plea deadline date.
Understood.
All right, January 30th. And there's no need for me to rule on this motion for discovery because the state said they're gonna look into it and see if they have it. If there is an issue where state, you say, I'm not gonna turn over the records, I will review them in camera and then I'll make a decision on whether or not they should be discoverable.
And Judge, just for, just so I'm clear, so the 30th, that's the day that those records would be due, and then would we have time to look at those, or is that also our plea deadline and jury selection?
No.
date the same day?
The 30th date will be the final discovery date, and on the 30th, the state needs to, if they're gonna tender you a different offer, they need to tender that offer. And then after that, your next date is gonna be your jury trial date and your plea deadline date.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you are excused.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Nicholas Aguilar, and then after that, it's gonna be Mari Fuller, and then after that, it will be Carry On. Nicholas Aguilar,
He's coming, Judge. Good afternoon.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. So where are we on this case?
Judge, I've conferred with my client and I've conferred with the state. We don't have any sort of agreement right now. This is my first setting. This was an at-large case. And I would request another 30 days or so just to make sure we have.
Do you have all the discovery or do
I
you know?
don't know that. I'm not sure.
Was the state able to tender an offer?
I didn't technically ask for one.
All right, state. Nicholas Aguilar,
Yes, Judge.
this is a drug case.
Yes, Judge.
Our next setting date, you need to be prepared to tender an offer. All right, I know you will. All right, Ms. Ferguson. Nicholas Aguilar, can I have a 1-month reset, please?
Yes, ma'am. I can do, February 11th.
All right, January 11th, once you sign the reset form, you are excused.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor.
You're welcome. And Mr. Coontz,
Yes, ma'am.
your client was late.
He went to the federal building. He's never been in
Oh,
trouble before and he
okay.
didn't know which court house.
All right, so now he knows.
He knows. Yes, he apologizes.
No problem. Mari Fuller. Hello. All right, so standing order that's been filed. And where are we on this case?
I just received the blood discovery today, Judge,
Okay,
so I'd ask for another study to review that. And we do have an offer.
okay. Ms. Ferguson, on Fuller, can I have a 3-week reset for plea deadline?
I think you have one on January 8th.
All right, January 8th will be your plea deadline date. On that date, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is this the case?
No, it's the one with the speaker.
All right. Jose Carrion. Pantoja. How do you pronounce it? Pantoja. Oh, okay. Court is calling 2023 CR 7667, State of Texas versus Jose Efron Carrion Pantoja. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Anna Ochoa Nelson.
David A. Garcia, attorney for the defendant.
And are you Mr. Pantoja?
Yes.
And we have an interpreter here. If you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm you will faithfully translate from English into Spanish and Spanish into English, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, just 1 second. Excuse me, no talking behind the court reporter. If you want, you can move down to the end. All right, could you state your name for the record?
Cesar Chavez, license number 2203.
All right. Mr. Pantoja, all of the documents that I'm gonna review with you are in English. Were you able to have those documents explained to you in Spanish?
Yes.
And counsel, do you speak Spanish?
I do,
And do you speak it fluently?
enough so that he understood, but it also helped that the interpreter judge.
All right. Mr. Pantoja, did you review a document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Counsel, have you received all of the discovery and did you review that with your client?
I did.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Pantoja, did you review a document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Pantoja, did you review the document entitled Court's Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
All right, off the record for a moment. From reviewing the paperwork, he's not a citizen. Did you review with him the immigration issues?
I did, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, back on the record. Did you understand you're charged with the offense of deadly conduct firearm? That's a 3rd-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2. If y'all could please whisper, please. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
No contest.
No. Did you intend to give up those rights I've explained to you?
Yes.
And did you want to enter into a plea bargain agreement today?
Yes.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, and he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He is.
Mr. Pantoja, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No,
No one.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
no.
No one.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Of course, yes, I have.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
No.
No, I'm not.
Counsel, did you advise your client of the consequences of entering into a plea bargain agreement in this case as it relates to his immigration status?
I did, Your Honor.
Did that advice include possible consequences such as deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States, or the denial of naturalization?
It did, Your Honor.
Do you believe he understands the consequences of entering into a plea in this cause number and the impact it will have on his immigration status?
I do, and he does.
Mr. Pantoja, has your counsel advised you of the consequences of entering into a plea bargain agreement in this case and the impact it will have on your immigration status?
Yes.
Did that advice include possible consequences such as deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States, and the denial of naturalization?
Yes.
And do you understand the consequences of entering into a plea bargain agreement in this case and the impact it will have on your immigration status?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there's a $1,500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's to be no contact with Andres, Andres, Gutierrez Ramirez, or the address on White Rock Drive, San Antonio, Texas. And there's an affirmative finding of family violence. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, I do.
Did you understand with the affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, of course.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of your plea bargain agreement?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the paragraph with your attorney entitled waiver of appeal paragraph? Did you sign it? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
None heard, Judge.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 5 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation and 100 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, I do understand.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No.
No contest.
State any evidence?
State offer states it's in form of attachments.
We reviewed states one and all attachments gave it.
All right, and state, have you had a chance to speak with the complainant?
He was informed the last contact, judge about the offer and he's being contacted now, to let him know that the defense will take the offer.
All right, Mr. Pantoja, and state, you may continue to confer.
Yes.
Mr. Pantoja, did you review the document entitled Wavering Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, I did.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, can I have attorney's approach on this?
Can you mute us to one second, please?
All right, state,
Yes, Judge, at this time, we'd like to waive and abandon the deadly weapon allegation.
any objection? All right. Then the court will review states exhibits 1 and attachments for sufficiency. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, my client understands he made a mistake. He's looking forward to proving himself to court and society, and he hopes that you go forward with the plea bargain.
All right. Mr. Pantoja, I see that this police report, it has to do with children. Why were you going over there to see about your children?
I'm sorry?
Yes, it says the handling officer arrived and contacted victim. Victim's stepdaughter is the mother of suspect's children. So were you going over there? It says here, victim says suspect, which is you, exited the vehicle and approached him asking about his children. So what was the issue with your children?
Perdón? No tengo ningún problema con eso. No, I don't have any problems with my kids.
No, then why were you at that location?
Para verlo, pero que el niño me había dicho que el señor le había pegado.
I went to see them because the boy had told me that the man had hit him.
All right. So, Mr. Pantoja, I'm going to follow this agreement, but this is what you need to understand. If there is an issue with children, you and the mother of the children need to have a conversation. You don't go over to the house and do what you did. If you think your children are in danger, you pick up the phone, you call the police, and the police can do a welfare check, but you don't go over there and do what you did. Do you understand?
Yes, I know I made a mistake and it's not going to happen again.
All right. No, you made a bad choice. All right. So are you employed?
Yes.
What do you do?
Construction.
All right. And how old are your children?
5 and 3.
Any drug or alcohol use?
No.
No.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. 5 years deferred adjudication, $1,500 fine. There's to be no contact with Andres Gutierrez Ramirez or the location on White Rock Drive. And Vashon, I know my accent is coming out. It's White, W-H-I-T-E, Rock, R-O-C-K Drive. And actually, Don, I should be telling you my accent is coming out. All right, there's regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular UAs. 100 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once that's completed, your community service hours will be deemed satisfied. Proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. Then it will be at probation's discretion. Is Child Protective Services involved in this case at all?
I didn't see anything in the file, Judge.
And there's an affirmative finding of family violence. Probation, is there anything else that's needed? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No.
No, no.
Right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Shane?
Yes.
Right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
See.
Yes.
Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Of course I do.
All right, we can go off the record. In this court, probation is very difficult, so the deputies tell me. If you have an issue with probation, let your probation officer know. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can always come back to the court and we will address it. Do you understand?
Okay. Okay.
All right, d'accord. De nada.
Then,
That's the extent. I'm working on my Spanish.
It's good.
All right,
Thank you, Judge.
thank you.
Judge.
All right, and probation may need you to help.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Andrew Arnett. And I wrote the address in there.
Yes.
Good afternoon. All right, so what is happening with this case?
Your Honor, we're asking for a reset. This is actually the second setting. I wasn't here this setting before. I had a medical unavailability issue. Having looked at the file and spoken to my client, I've asked the state and they've agreed to contact the detective. There's information we think outside the case that may affect the offer. We don't have an offer yet. And we don't really want one until the next setting, if that's okay with the court, until they talk to the detective.
All right, and why were you late for court?
My car.
I'm sorry?
I was having car issues. I'm sorry.
All right, so you need to be on time. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
What would you do if Mahomes didn't show up late for the game? All right, Ms. Ferguson, 30-day reset, please. All right, we're gonna put January 8th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Alexander Castro. All right, who's the prosecutor? All right, so has an offer been tendered
It has previously, Judge.
and is he rejecting that offer?
We did it, previous setting, Judge.
Judge, just to inform the court, so we did subpoena internal affairs records from SAPD. We were in communication with Jim Cobb, one of the city attorneys at San Antonio. And he did hand over several documents on disks that were given to our Probation Integrity Unit. They gave them to me and I uploaded those documents for defense to see. He waived the motion to quash the subpoena. The one thing that is outstanding on there are several videos that were included on this. My understanding from viewing some of the videos is that they were just body cam that was already handed over to defense.
Okay.
But I'm in the process, there was about 20 discs that I'm still just going through and just uploading everything just so that I can say I gave over everything.
All right, how long is this jury trial going to be?
3 days, Judge, there's a few witnesses.
I'm sorry, how many days?
3 days, there's a few witnesses.
All right.
Judge, one last thing, there was a cell phone dump that was done in this case. I've been in contact with the detective who obtained the cell phone. My understanding is that it's been completed and that we're supposed to get the cell phone dumped tomorrow or Wednesday. The detective's just been out of the office, so he has been able to come in and hand that off to us.
All right. All right, Norma, I need a jury trial date. Your plea deadline date has expired. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements in this case without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plea open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. What date, Ms. Ferguson?
And Judge, just to let you know, all the discovery issues on our end, that should be done by the end of this week.
All right, thank you.
Sorry, that was a lot to get out of.
Oh, no
Been a
problem.
couple breaths.
March 5th.
All right, your jury trial date is going to be March 5th. Sign the reset form, then you're excused. You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Isai De Los Santos. Hi.
Hi, again.
Yeah, so what is happening with this case?
Judge, we got an offer today. We were gonna approach about a bond issue also, but I think we're just gonna sit right now and see if we can we gotta get some more information for the state on an issue that's kind of collateral to the offer. So we have a setting, I believe, on January the 4th still, so we'll just keep that.
All right, Norma, on De Los Santos, they're gonna come back on January 4th. All right, thank you. Thank you. Cameron Lawrence. All right, hello. All right, so he was previously in federal custody.
That's correct, Judge.
So we're just back here. What happened with the federal case?
He was sentenced.
All right. And how much time was he sentenced
He
to?
was sentenced to 4 years.
Okay.
7 months.
All right, where are we on this case?
We were given an offer today.
Okay.
And so my clients are related to him.
All right, do you need a plea deadline date or a trial date?
We get a big deadline day.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, can you recall it for the first week or either the second week in January for a plea deadline date?
Second week would be great.
Okay. All right, we'll come back on January 9th. On January 9th, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the offer. Do you understand? All right, is there anything else?
No, Judge.
Anything else you need?
No.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Josh Shanae Caldwell. Hello, Mr. Cox.
Okay.
All right, are you going?
Congratulations.
Thank you. You know, the season was looking so bright and then things started going downhill, but hey, we have a Heisman Trophy winner.
Can you say?
And you know, James Seeloff was in the office and you know what he said? He said, Judge, is he going to play in the bowl game? He shouldn't play. He said, I don't know any Heisman Trophy winner who won the Heisman and did well at the bowl game. I'm like, didn't LSU just have Burroughs? Didn't he win a championship with his high? He's like, besides that. So what are we doing with Miss Caldwell? No gum chewing. I mean, she was smacking away. That's
I think
okay.
she's a believer now.
What, and not chewing gum?
In terms of
Okay.
187 district court judge.
All right, so I noticed that you were newly appointed. So where are we on these cases?
Judge, I just grabbed the files to take a look and make an offer. I hadn't had a chance to.
Oh,
Could we just reset it so I can get discovery and then let them make me an offer?
all right, what you need to get an offer today?
I need to get an offer today since it's my first appearance here.
Yeah, we'll get an offer today and then I'll give you all a plea deadline date. The plea deadline date will be in the new year. But it is a theft case and a forgery case.
Okay.
Yeah.
was
If it
just-
were
was just
something
decided
different,
June this year, Judge.
okay,
It was it was to happen in 2021, but it was just indicted.
all right. Ms. Ferguson, can you put this for a plea deadline date at the end of January? We'll give you the last week in January. And if there's some issues with discovery, I always have an open mind on that.
I appreciate it, Judge.
Thank you.
It's February 29th.
Yes, January 29th. So where does Florida land in the bowl games? Hey, as long, let me just tell you, as long as it's not the opening the mailbox bowl game, you're good.
Judge, we weren't bowl qualified, so I would take that. Get it.
But you know what? Sometimes it's great not to be bowl qualified because then you can just sit back and watch people play in the snow.
Okay,
All right. Hey, next year.
next year. All right.
I'm sorry, who? No, I do not have that one. William Chapman. And after Mr. Chapman, it will be Cardona. And then after Cardona, it will be Ruiz. And after Ruiz, Hunt. So yes, where are we on this case?
Judge, there is an at-large case that defense counsel was not aware of, and it's not listed on the MTR. I think hopefully we're on the way to working something out, but we are asking for a short reset, possibly to Monday, to reach out to the complainant on the at-large case.
All right. Norma, on this case, can we recall it for Monday?
Yes.
All right, we'll see you back on Monday, the 18th.
And Judge.
Yes.
This one was kind of.
All right. Thank you. You're welcome. All right, Justine Summy.
For a second there, Judge, I thought you lost the file.
No, they just put it up here late. All right, where are we on with the mental health evaluation?
Judge, she has the inquiry with Judge Brothers on the 20th.
The 25th?
20th.
20th.
20.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. Can we move this to a different day? They're doing the inquiry on the 20th?
December?
Yes. And then after the inquiry, then you know a doctor's gonna have to see her.
I can do.
All right, we'll be back on February 5th.
That's good, Judge. Thank you.
All right, do you have any questions?
No, I do not.
All right, thank you. Alfredo Cardona. All right, and who's the attorney for Alfredo Cardona?
Judge, that's, it's Neil Office, but I'll be here.
All right. And is the other case being taken in consideration? He's only pleading to one?
Yes, sir.
All right. Court is calling 2023 CR 8353, State of Texas versus Alfredo Cardona. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Ruben will be signing up for Mr. Cardona.
And are you Alfredo Cardona the fourth? Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Cardona, showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you sign it?
Yes, sir.
Showing you the true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor, we do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Oh, we are, Your Honor.
Mr. Cardona, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of evading arrest, detention with a vehicle? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
No, Your Honor. Yes.
I'm sorry, did you intend to give up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, in my opinion.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
That is my belief.
Mr. Cardona, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I note for the record that you hired, I believe, the firm of Neil Kalfas. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any objection with this attorney standing in?
Say again, I'm sorry.
Do you have any objections with this attorney standing in to
No, Your
complete this plea? And counsel, you are part of the firm?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, there's a $1,500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration 2023 CR 8354, 2023 CR 10944. There's to be restitution, if any, in cause number 2023 CR 8354 to Jamundi, Jamindu, Wasam, Wasam. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor, that is a plea.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 3 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 180 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No problem.
State any evidence?
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
Oh, you may continue to confer. I'm going to show you what's entitled Waiving Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Sure.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
See.
At reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding you guilty as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
I would, Your Honor. After speaking with my client, he has made it very clear to me that he understands that he made a bad decision. He understands that there's no mistakes in this, that he made a bad decision. His mother has actually spoken to me and expressed how she's tried to keep him on the correct path, and she hopes that this is a wake-up call for him. She has been before you actually in the past, and she mentioned that deferred adjudication and then some of the courses you made her take and some of the things you made her do made a great change in her life. She hopes that happens for him. He's started going to church. He's been involved with his family. He's a new father of 8 months. He's a new husband, and he wishes to be the best husband and father that he can be, and make sure he does not make these, bad decisions again. One of the things he'd like to stress for the court is that he is currently looking for a job. He understands he needs to support his family, but furthermore, he's also currently working to get his GED taken care of. And all we would like is for the court, obviously, to take that into consideration, because he does have a significant amount of community service being addressed. But he is trying to be a contributing member of society to the best of his abilities by getting some education.
All right. How do you know Charles Trejo?
That's my uncle.
How old is your uncle?
I'm not sure.
All right. I see he's a juvenile as well. When's the last time you had contact with him?
Sorry, they have the same name, uncle.
So Charles Trejo III, who is that?
That's my cousin
All right. When's the last time you saw him?
when I got arrested.
So you all are not meeting each other at family reunions or anything of that nature? And how old is your child?
My, second,
You have a child?
she's on the way. She's gonna be getting here on December 21st.
And who do you live with?
My grandparents, my grandpa, my mother, and my uncle.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. Oh, by the way, if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Last time I smoked was like 30 days ago, 25 days ago.
Yeah, but what are the results going to be?
Not so sure. Positive for marijuana.
All right. Are you using anything other than marijuana? You need to stop using marijuana.
I understand.
Why are you using marijuana? I mean, why?
Stress and a lot of stuff.
The stress of not having a job, not going to school? How is that stressful? Because it appears to me that your grandmother is supporting you because you don't have a job. All you've done so far is you're about to have a baby brought into this world, and you've been using marijuana. So what is stressing you out?
Been doing a lot of DoorDash, get money.
Well, I mean, when you were doing this evading arrest, you didn't have an employment, right? That's a yes or no.
Say again, love?
When you committed this evading arrest, did you have employment?
No.
So what were your stressors? You're living at your grandparents' house for free. You're not in school.
I was homeless for a good minute after
Right.
I was arrested, and I recently just got back to my house with my family, so it just been,
Why were you homeless?
I didn't have nowhere to stay. I had a problem with my family at the moment. I was with my wife.
What was your problem with the family? You would not
Yeah,
follow
we-
their rules
We had an argument,
about
just argument,
you not following rules?
not really, ma'am, it's just an argument.
And so you left them, you were homeless, and then you moved in with your girlfriend?
Got it with my girlfriend. I had to do DoorDash and we were living at a hotel for a couple, 3-4 months now.
All right. All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication. There's a $1,500 fine that will be probated. Take in consideration 2023 CR 8354, 2023 CR 10944. There's to be restitution, if any, to Jamundi Wasam and cause number 2023 CR 8354. There's going to be 300 hours of community service restitution. He's going to complete parenting classes. Once he completes parenting classes, 150 hours will be deemed to be satisfied. And then you're getting your GED, or either you're going to a trade school or you're doing something with your education, you understand? And once that's completed, the remaining 150 hours community service restitution will be deemed satisfied. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular UAs. I'm going to want a TAP evaluation and follow TAP recommendations, except we're going to start with supportive outpatient treatment. I'm going to want 90 sober meetings in 90 days. And on the UAs, if you'll test for levels, and there's to be field visits 1 time per month for 5 months, and then at probation's discretion. And you're to reside with your grandparents. So what that means is you're going to be living with your grandparents. If your grandparents decide to put you out, you need to let probation know. If you want to leave and your grandparents have not put you out of the house, you need to get permission from the court. You understand? Probation, is there anything else he needs? Thank you. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Is there anything else, probation? Thank you. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, sir.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. You made a bad start with your life. Don't make a bad start with your child's life who's about to be born. Do not be smoking marijuana in that house over that child. Do not have your clothes smelling like marijuana, because children can smell that. And when she's born, or he is born, you're going to want her to have good brain development. And good brain development for children does not equal being in a household where people are smoking marijuana and doing crazy nonsense. You understand? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who is here on Carlos Ruiz? All right, in probation, this is a sentencing. Court is calling 2023 CR 7288, State of Texas versus Carlos Edward Ruiz. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
Defense?
Stephen Gilmore.
And are you Carlos Ruiz?
Yes, ma'am.
You entered a plea of no contest to count one. There's no application. You entered that plea on October 23rd. According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 8 years. There's a $1,500 fine, and there's restitution, if any, to Judith Sanchez. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report? Any objections?
Not this time, Your Honor. Jason, this was in this case. Daniels. Okay.
All right, any objections to the PSI report?
None, Your Honor.
Any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Judge, the thing that strikes me most about this case, Judge, is the degree to which she's accepted responsibility. I was appointed to this case in September in the courtroom.
I'm sorry, just 1 second. You all need to whisper in the box. If you can't whisper, then you're gonna have to stop talking while we're on the record. You may continue.
I was appointed to this case in September, after previous counsel, I guess, had instituted court date. So I got appointed. Mr. Ruiz wanted to plea that day. I told him I had to look at the discovery and figure things out and come back. He came back 30 days later. He was ready to plea. I explained to him that, you know, there are trial issues here. No one necessarily sees you behind the wheel. You're the complainant in this case, Katrina Green, who's present in the courtroom to support Mr. Ruiz. She had done an affidavit of non-prosecution. She didn't want the case to proceed. But he understood what he had done in this case and wanted to accept responsibility for it and move to the next phase of his life. So knowing that the state had potential proof issues at trial, he didn't want to hear about it. He wanted to acknowledge what he'd done, begin making things up to Ms. Green. And even though they're no longer together, she's still here to support him and doesn't want to see him get a lengthy prison sentence. Judge, for that reason, more than anything else, I just believe that this case shouldn't be sentenced anywhere near that cap. He has a parole revocation pending. He was on parole until August of next year. And so, Judge, I would just ask for a sentence that falls closer to that 2-year minimum than, of course, that 8-year cap.
All right, state.
You know, the state's requesting 8 years and no application.
All right, Mr. Ruiz, anything you wish to say? All right, Mr. Ruiz, I understand that the complainant does not wish to prosecute. But as you know, there's an issue here. The issue is you were drinking and driving.
Yes, ma'am.
And there was an accident and somebody was injured. So there's punishment for that. And I see that you did not apply for any type of probation. I do appreciate the fact that you admitted your wrongdoing.
Yes, ma'am.
And I see that you're on parole. What is the parole violation based upon? Does anyone know?
The new number 1 judge, and I think he still owes money, but he's still got a year left to finish paying that money. But no UAs or anything like that.
Okay. All right. And the court does not see any restitution that's been submitted.
As for, I mean, I can't speak to Ms. Sanchez, but as to Ms. Green, the vehicle was insured. All of her injuries have been taken care of. She has no outstanding medical debt or debt related to the accident. I cleared that with her before we came in.
All right.
She's told me she has no restitution.
All right, and where is she in the courtroom?
Present in the back.
All right, thank you so much. All right, so the complainant does not wish to prosecute. What is your relationship to the complainant? None? I'm sorry?
No.
Previously dating or friends since 7th grade?
Dated for about 7 years.
Okay. All right, this what the court will do. The court previously found you guilty. The court will find you guilty. The court will request for you the therapeutic community. Whether or not you accept it into that will depend upon you. The court will sentence you to 5 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. This will run concurrent with (2017) CR 2008W. And the court will see that the only criminal history you have is one that's graffiti, and that was in 2013. And then, yes, as a juvenile, and then the other case is the case that you're on parole for in this. So is there anything else with regards to sentencing? All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Good luck to you. You're gonna have to make better decisions.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Beverly Zuniga.
President ready, Your
Honor. Probation, this is an MTR. Court is calling 2022 CR 2568, State of Texas versus Beverly Marie Zuniga. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Anna Charlie Nelson.
Defense?
Anton Hyde for the citizen accused.
And are you Beverly Zuniga?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, off the record for a moment. Norma, I think John Kuntz left, but he has someone on probation. It's Thilda Thanasuk. So if you could have him come back.
Oh, he said he was coming back.
Okay, okay, thanks. See, I need to stay in my lane. All right, are you Ms. Zuniga?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Are you the same Beverly Marie Zuniga who was placed on community supervision in 2022 CR 2568 for the offense of assault family's second offense on April 14, 2022 for a term of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Violation of condition number 2. On or about the 5th day of April 2023 in Barrett County, Texas, the defendant Beverly Marie Zuniga did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court officer, supervision officer, in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True. State waives and abandons the remaining allegations.
Any objection?
No objections.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you up to 5 years in prison and up to a $1,500 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yeah.
Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor. We have agreed to probation's recommendation to allow for SATIF followed by aftercare.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes.
All right, the court will deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to include SATIF followed by aftercare. And that's while in custody. So there may be a little bit of wait time, and because it's the holiday season, there's going to be some wait time. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. You're going to have to do better. If you don't do better, what's going to end up happening is you could potentially end up in prison for 5 years. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If there's an issue, let probation know. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can always come back to the court. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Excuse, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Isaac Alcorta. Then after that, it will be Jasmine Hunt. Who's the attorney for Isaac Alcorta? All right, what's happening on this case?
We're conferring with the state, and also my client has some family issues. He'd like the court to set a bond. I believe there's an unindicted case.
All right, he'll need to file a motion and then it can be heard. So has an offer been tendered?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is the case that it's unindicted?
It's also a UUMD judge, so it would be a global offer. It would take care of all the cases, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, put this on the first week in the new year. and that's going to be your plea deadline date. You're going to need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. If you choose not to accept the offer, the court will not consider any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have the plea open to the court. Do you understand? All right. All right, we're going to come back on January 5th. Norma, can you make sure you give them a reset form, please? All right, thank you.
And regarding the bond,
Oh, file a motion and then we'll hear it. All right, but everybody needs to file their motions quickly. Yes, you have a question? All right, who is here on Hunt? Thank you. And probation, this is an application. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 8808, State of Texas versus Jasmine Hunt. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Michael Collins, attorney for defendant, present, ready, Your Honor.
Are you Ms. Hunt?
Yes.
Counsel, I'm showing you what's entitled discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. All right, off the record. I don't see the. Oh, there it is. Thank you. Ms. Hunt, we're on the record. Ms. Hunt, I'm gonna show you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Showing you the true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I respectfully do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Hunt, I'm going to show you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Okay.
Sorry, Judge.
That's okay. Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of assault of a pregnant person? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Off the record, Ms. Blake, Angela, you all need to take it to that end to speak with her on that end. All right, we're back on the record. Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Sure. Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Well, she has, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I believe she does, Your
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Honor. I do, Your Honor.
Ms. Hunt, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promise you anything other than the plea?
Did we make any promises to you?
Has anyone promised you anything other than what your plea bargain agreement is? You want to step back and just, I'm sorry?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, there's a $1,500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's restitution, if any, to Cassandra Valdez, and that's Cassandra with a K. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
It is, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours of community service restitution, and no contact with Cassandra Valdez. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest.
State any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 and the attachments.
I've reviewed that with my client, Your Honor. We haven't.
All right, and state, have you been in contact with the complainant?
No, Your Honor, we have not.
All right. All right, you may continue to confer.
Thank you.
Going to show you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Is there anything you'd like, wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, she's been in jail now for 4 months. She's had a long time to think about this. She's expressed her remorse to me about this incident. She let her emotions get the better of her, Your Honor. She knows she made a mistake and that she wants to get out and get to go back to her family and make things right, Your Honor.
All right, how old are you?
21.
All right. When's the last time you had employment?
I haven't been, I'm currently on Social Security right now.
All right, what are you receiving Social Security for?
My disability.
What is your disability?
I currently don't know. I think it's my depression or anxiety.
All right, so this is the issue the court has about sentencing her today. It appears from reading the report, there are some mental health issues because this is not the first time that there's been issues at the house. And the reason why I say that, because I read in the police report that they were saying that she does get aggressive and become irate. And this entire incident was over the fact that her father or either her mother went to the grocery store, brought some items, came back, and she didn't like the items that were brought back. So then the complainant tells her, I tell you what, I'll take the items and I'll go to the store and get the items that you want. And then she starts beating up the complainant.
Yes, sir.
So there's something else going on here. I don't know if it's a mental health issue or what's going on, but I don't feel comfortable sentencing her until we have a mental health evaluation or something, because there's something else going on here. And if I send her out into the world and it is the holidays coming up, and the reason why I bring up the holidays, because for some people, the holidays are stressors. And right now, I don't even think it's appropriate for her to go back to the home with her father and mother. So we're going to set this for a sentencing date. And that's what we will do. I'm going to ask for a mental health evaluation. And if you would like to see, does she have any criminal history?
All I know is that she had a criminal mischief as a juvenile, and she had an assault case that was dismissed.
All right. If you want to check also to see if she does have mental health issues, to see if mental health court will accept her. If they will accept her, you can file a motion for a new trial state. If she is accepted into the, I think we're off the record. I think there's something else more that's going on here. If she's accepted into mental health court, will you all object to him filing the motion for new trial?
No, Judge, so that would be, is that like a, no, ma'am.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, so that's what we will do. Norma, what's the date for sentencing for PSI? All right, we're going to do January 11th. And then counsel, you need to go directly over to mental health court to see if they will accept her. And if you'll explain the situation, Ms. Hunt, because it doesn't make any sense to the court that somebody not bringing you, an adult, the food or whatever items you wanted back from the store and you didn't like the items that they brought and you're not employed. And then you have a complainant offer to go and get you the items that you specifically want. I don't know how that turns into punching a pregnant person or beating up a pregnant person. So we're going to have to figure out what's going on. So PSI MIC evaluation, we'll be back on January 11th. And I know that mental health court, they're probably looking at accepting people in January.
So if I get their acceptance, will that, will we still be coming back on January 11th here?
No, if you get their acceptance and it's done before December 18th, you can come back. Or if it's done by December 18th, you can come back. And honestly, if they say, yes, we will accept her, we will get it done.
Okay, I'm gonna check, because I leave on vacation starting the 14th, so I will jump on it too. You're there tomorrow, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Okay, all right, thanks. And counsel, when we come back, you'll need to fill out another trial court certification.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I found no competence issues, Your Honor. I understand where you're going with that.
Yes. All right, we'll see. Because the other thing we need to discover, or you all need to discover, is her SSI. What is it related to? Is it a mental health disability or something else? All right.
I can find out from my mother.
All right, thank you. All right, who's here on Troy Harris? All right, Mr. Harris, come down. All right, state on this case, has all the discovery been uploaded? What can be uploaded?
Yes, so, Judge.
Okay. Were you able to tender an offer today?
Not today, Judge. I have an idea of what I would like to offer, but there are some nuances with regard to Chapter 63 that I'd like to discuss with the complainant's mother beforehand.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you put this late January? Is that enough time for everyone?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. All right, we're going to come back on January 30th. And at that time, an offer will be due.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything else?
No, Judge.
All right, we'll see you on the 30th. You're welcome. And everyone, just give me one moment. All right, on Jesus Garza State, that defendant is in federal custody. So what date do you want to bring him back, Norma? Jesus Eduardo Garza? Mhm. Just put it in early, the first week in February. Okay. All right, we'll see if he is back. He's supposed to be sentenced. Just one moment. Just give me 1 second. Let me write this in here. All right. All right, yes.
And speaking with, that, the 379 clerk over there, Your Honor, she gave me the form for it, for the order of referral that would have to be signed by this court. She also tells me that they can't get to the point where they've already clicked.
Oh, no, let them know that because we've done this before, let them know that we will allow her to do a motion for new trial and withdrawal. I'll call over there if nobody objects. Okay, I'll call over there and let them know. Yes.
So you want to sign up on a referral?
Sure. Yes. Here for Renee Dela Cruz. Is she out? What's going on? All right, is he on bond? Oh, he's in jail. Okay. All right, we can recall it for tomorrow. Everyone, Renee Dela Cruz is going to be recalled for tomorrow. Who's here on Anthony White? And probation, this is an application. Court is calling 2023 CR 3413B, State of Texas versus Anthony White. Could I have the parties announced for the record for the state?
David Cavazos for the state.
John Koontz for Mr. White.
And are you Mr. White?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you pronounce your middle name?
Vivian McKee.
All right, Vivian. Right. Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I have reviewed all of it, Judge. Yes, we have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. White, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, state's gonna waive the enhancement paragraph, thereby proceeding on the lesser included of promotion of gambling.
Any objection?
Obviously, no, we're very grateful.
Okay. Sometimes people object. I don't know.
My name is not Carolyn Whitman.
All right. I'm going to show you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the less included offense of promotion of gambling as a class A misdemeanor? Range of punishment is up to a $4,000 fine and up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, court could find you guilty, sentence you up to a $4,000 fine and 1 year in the Bexar County Jail? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Both, very much so.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes and yes.
Mr. White, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to a plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of promotion of gambling. There's a $250 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration 6966603 and 6966604. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes,
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 15 months. No contact with Abel Garcia, Celestina Gonzalez, or Nicole Marie Casimiro. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the offense of promotion of gambling, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
State offers State's Exhibit 1 with its attachments.
We've reviewed them and have no objections, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled waivering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony?
Yes, sir.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Do you wish to proceed with sentencing?
We would like to, yes, Your Honor, and if I could address something.
Yes.
So as you can see in the police report, and I can further tell the court, my client had this job and he was making very little money doing this, basically being a doorman at a gate where they had some 8-liners. He is still struggling financially. I have explained to him that on this deferred, the most important thing is to make sure that he shows up when he's supposed to show up and do whatever it is that the court asks him to do. He is currently working right now, but I just want to inform the court that his finances aren't very strong. I've also informed him that if he has no violations, that there might be a possibility of terminating his probation early. So he's going to try to do everything that the court orders as quickly as possible. So that maybe we can be back in front of you sooner rather than later.
All right, does he have any criminal history other than what he's here for today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. What are you doing for work?
Security.
Okay. Do you have any children?
I have a daughter,
How old?
12.
Do you see her on a regular basis?
I didn't even want to.
Why not?
Me and her mother really don't get along. We don't talk anymore. She was my stepdaughter, but I raised her since she was 1. We ended up breaking up, and she just doesn't let me see her anymore.
Okay. All right. If you're drug tested today, what are results going to be?
I'll probably fail marijuana.
All right. And do you have a gun as a security?
No.
Taser?
That small taser. We have a flashlight. That's pretty much that.
Okay. All right. You can't be doing marijuana while you're on probation. You understand?
Yes, Ben. That's fine.
All right. The court will sentence you to $250 fine. That will be probated. Take in consideration 6966603, 6966604. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be no contact with Abel Garcia, Celestina Gonzalez, Nicole Marie Casimiro, 80 hours of community service, restitution, 1 year deferred adjudication, regular UAs. I'm going to want him tested for levels. There's to be 90 sober meetings in 90 days. And we'll do a TAP evaluation. He's telling me the only thing you're going to be positive for will be marijuana, nothing else. You haven't used anything else? You don't use anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right. So we'll still do a TAP evaluation, but what I'm going to ask for, based upon what he's telling me, is the sober meetings. And once your levels go down, which they should, and once you test negative, you should not test positive again. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to want field visit 1 time for 2 months. And then it'll be at probation's discretion. Proof of employment. within 30 days. There should be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Reading off the record in this court, communication is key. If there's an issue, let probation know. If you feel like they're not addressing it, you can always come and address it to the court. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Judge.
You're welcome. Who's here on Christopher Suniga?
Waiting for him to be brought out, Your Honor. so I
Okay.
can Discuss the offer that was making today.
All right. Yeah, he's on page 40. Suniga, he's here. Eddie, he's here. All right, Norma, so on this one, they're not quite ready yet. So Norma, the people I have us left, John Coots on Thilda Thanasuk. We have Summer Bailey and Angela Morris here. Jesse Garcia with Christine Brown. Okay, thank you. And then Zuniga with, yeah, then we have Ortega with Umberto. Okay. We have Josiah Williams with Raymond Vale. All righty. Then those are what we have left. Can you mute us just 1 second? And Norma, do You know, I really would love to have another salad from Salata. Oh my gosh, their salads are so good. And you know what? The lettuce is fresh. Norma, are you going to go to the Pflugerville? They say, ah, they need to have it, but if they were to have it in Europe, everybody would go. Okay. John,
Yes, ma'am.
I can do a tap evaluation right now.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So if y'all want to go for it, you can go for it.
So she'd never had a tap done, when she was placed on probation.
Okay.
And so what probation and the prosecutor and I discussed was, let's get the tap evaluation and see. The problem is they can't do it till the 19th. And then that's your last day of docket.
Mhm.
So, obviously I'm trying to get some progress before the holidays.
Oh, I can progress it along right now.
Well, so what are you thinking?
Could I see her phone?
Hasn't been, well, she hasn't done.
Okay, that's okay.
It's,
Let me just see in just one moment.
it's not a bunch of positive tests or anything like that. It's really only one positive test, but she didn't get off on the right foot with probation. You have to be driving alive for one right when she got out of jail, starting this probation.
Okay, all right, just give me a moment. Norma? Mhm. Yes. All right, thank you. All right, Summer Bailey. Court is calling 2021 CR 7574, State of Texas versus Summer Bailey. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
Defense?
Angela Blake?
Are you Summer Bailey?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Going to show you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Summer D. Bailey who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 7574 for the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on September 10th, 2021 for a term of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Yes, Your Honor. Violating condition number 1, on or about the 5th day of November 2023 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Summer D. Bailey committed the offense of burglaring the building and intent theft in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that, true or not true?
Partially true. I did not intend it.
Well, here's the thing. It's either true or it's not true. We can't do partially. So is it true or not true?
Sure.
All right. State?
I'll waive the remaining violation.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No objection.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
No, ma'am, I did not.
Oh. You don't know that's the range of punishment for what you're on probation for?
Yes, ma'am, I knew that's what I was on.
All right, so you want to sit and talk with her?
Sure, Judge.
Okay. All right, court is going to call 2023 CR 0562A, State of Texas versus Theta Thansuk Reyes. Could I have parties approach and announce for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
John Finch for Ms. Reyes.
All right, what I can tell both parties on the motion to revoke, it does not have the last name Reyes.
Then Ms. Tennyson, yes.
Okay, are you still the Thansuk?
It's Tita, there's no L in there.
There's no L? All right. Are you Tita
Yes.
Thansuk? How do you spell your first name?
THIDA. THIDA.
Last name?
Tanasuk, and then it's hyphenated Reyes. That's the way it's.
All right. I'm going to show you a document entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision and states motion to supplement pending motion to revoke probation. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Are you the same Tita Thansuk who was placed on community supervision in 2023 CR 0562A for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams on March 23rd, 2023 for a term of 10 years? Is that you?
Yes.
State?
Violating condition number 2, on or about the 8th day of May, 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Theta Thansuk, did then and there illegally use a controlled substance, namely methamphetamine, in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
And Your Honor, we waived the other violations alleged in the motion.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $2,500 fine? Did you understand?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2? Court will find,
Yes.
court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor, and we have discussed that with the court a few moments ago. I think we're all in agreement. We want the TAP evaluation.
Correct.
And if the TAP evaluation if the recommendation of the TAP evaluation is inpatient treatment, we'd like to start with intensive outpatient treatment, Judge.
All right.
And that's correct, Judge. And just for purposes of the record, the TAP evaluation will be completed next Tuesday, the 19th. And so we would request that upon her compliance with TAP, that the court then allow her to be released upon the results.
Okay.
And also for the record, my client has already been in contact with the Haven for Hope, and they're willing to take her in. And so she does have the ability to sort of land on her feet, so to speak, right next to the jail. In essence, once she goes out, she can go over there.
All right. The court will deny the motion. Alter and amend conditions to include a TAP evaluation in custody. If the TAP evaluation recommends outpatient treatment, I still want to start with intensive outpatient treatment. If they recommend inpatient treatment, we will start with intensive outpatient treatment.
Thank you, Judge.
Welcome. And I'm going to ask for 90 sober meetings and 90 days.
And that's great, Judge. She actually has been attending NA classes in the jail since she's been sitting there. She has the certificate or the chart in her hand where they sign it.
All right, and you're going to be residing at Haven for Hope?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and I'm going to have her reside at Haven for Hope. Here's the thing about residing, and when I write down that that's where you're going to be, that's where you're going to be. So if you are able to get a new place to live, you will have to let probation know. You just can't say bye. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Everything that you do from here on out, you need to get permission from probation. You understand? All right, is there anything else?
Nothing, Judge. Thank you very much.
All right, we can go off the record from here on out. And I know I've told you this before. Everything you do, you need to ask yourself 2 questions. Is this something that could potentially result in me going to prison for 10 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If the answer is maybe, don't do it. And I know that drug addiction is hard to overcome, but when the drug starts calling your name, like, hey, Tita, let's just do a little bit, you need to say, wait a minute, is a year of my life or 6 months of my life at Bexar County Jail, is it worth it? Is 10 years worth it? If the answer is no, you need to hang up on your addiction. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you very much, Judge.
You're welcome. Whenever you all are ready on Bailey, let me know you all are ready. All right, we're going to go back on the record. In 2021 CR 7574. Ms. Bailey, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you do understand that if you have worked out a proposed agreement between your attorney and the state, the court does not have to follow that agreement. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor, and it is to continue the individual on her deferred, order her to go to safety with a 8-month extension to her deferred. State will take in consideration in lieu of a plea of true to number 1, which is Night Mag 737-286, which is Burley the building. State is also asking an additional condition of no contact order with Bethany First Baptist Church at 202 Noblewood Drive here in San Antonio, Texas.
And you said 202?
Yes, Your Honor. No, Noblewood, one word.
Okay. Are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, sir.
Are you asking me to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is what the court will do. The court will deny the motion. Alter and amend conditions to include safety. Does she need a new TAP evaluation for that or no? Okay. Okay. All right, this is what the court will do. Court will deny the motion, alternate amend conditions to include an updated TAP evaluation. If the TAP evaluation recommends inpatient treatment, then it's to be safety. There's to be no contact with Bethany First Baptist Church at 202 Noblewood, and you're extended for 2 years. All right, is there anything else from either side?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record, Ms. Bailey. From here on out, everything you do, you need to ask yourself, did this result in me potentially going to prison for 20 years? When you're on probation, you're not on probation with your attorney. You're not on probation with the state. You're on probation with the court. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Judge.
Yes. And I will make sure I write that on here. There you go. Thank you. Are you all ready on Jesse Garcia?
Yes, Judge.
All righty, so where are we on Jesse Garcia?
Judge, we have conveyed an offer that's been rejected at this time.
Okay. All right, Mr. Garcia,
Yes, ma'am.
do you need an opportunity to think about the offer that's tendered to you or no?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So Norma, on this case, and how old are you, sir?
I'm 58.
All right, Norma, on this case, are you able to bring him back on the 14th, or is there too much on the docket on the 14th? All right, we're going to come back on December 14th. At that time, you need to let me know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. If you choose not to accept their offer, the court will not consider any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plead open to the court. Do you understand?
Okay.
I mean, if you don't understand, just let me know.
I didn't understand when she was trying to whisper everything.
Okay, no problem. So let me explain this to you. The state has tendered an offer to you. Did you receive that offer? You know what this?
All I understood was.
No. Let me stop you. The reason why I'm stopping you, I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm stopping you is because whatever offer the state has tendered to you, I'm not supposed to know about it until you decide to accept the offer. Then I'll see what the plea is. So before that happens, the plea negotiation is in confidence or in secret between your attorney and the state. So I want you to listen to my questions very carefully, all right? Did you receive the offer from the state? That's either yes or no.
Yes.
All right. What I'm going to do is I will give you a chance to consider that in your mind, because sometimes when offers are made and it's the first time they're being made, people are not ready to take action on them. So we're going to come back on December 14th. That's Thursday. You understand?
I do.
On Thursday, you need to let me know whether or not you're accepting the offer that the state tendered to you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you decide not to accept the offer, this is what will end up happening. I will set you for a jury trial. If you decide to enter a plea at that time, I will not accept a plea agreement unless there's good cause for me to accept it. Otherwise, you have to plead open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to come back on December 14th. And that will be your plea deadline date. All right?
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And thank you for letting me know that you did not understand at first.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Who's here on Tanya Ortega?
Ready, Your Honor.
Thank you. And do you have another pen? This ink has died on me. Oh, no, thank you. Hey, oldie but goodie. This is an application probation. Court is calling 2023 CR 8904, State of Texas versus Tanya Ortega. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
Defense?
Humberto Salazar.
And are you Tanya Ortega?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm gonna show you what's entitled discovery acknowledgement. Counsel, did you review that with receive all the discovery, and did you review that discovery with your client?
Did Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Ortega, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Ms. Ortega, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of aggravated robbery? That's a first-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to life in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
She has, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Ortega, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, there's a $1,500 fine, affirmative finding of deadly weapon. State recommends deferred. There's to be restitution, if any, to Michelle, Michelle Young. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
It is, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the agreement. The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 8 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours community service restitution, and no contact with Michelle Young. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State Exhibit number 1 with office attachment.
No objection. Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled waivering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No.
All right. So what started this argument? What's the argument about?
So this lady was upset with me because I was assaulted by her boyfriend. He hit me with a gun from behind and called in this aggravated robbery. Said that I held a gun, took her phone and her makeup.
Okay. And I see what the witnesses are saying as well. So what is up with the tattoos, the writing over the eyes? Whose name is that?
I have two kids. It's my son and my daughters. I've failed as of yet to be a mom that I really want to be for my kids, and I feel somewhat this is a way I can express to them that I love them. It's silly in part, but maybe if they see something, they know that my mistakes are not towards them, and the love that I have for them is just bad choices that I've made.
All right. And how old are your children?
9 and 12. My parents have adopted them to the state of Texas so they could go to college. Have a good
Well,
stable home.
they adopted them so they could go to college, but you're right, that last part for them to have a stable home.
Yes.
Do you have
I
any
talked
plans to
them-
have any more children?
No,
Okay.
I'm done. But I've taken parenting and I've done a lot of things while in TDC, and I went to college in TDC and I got an associates in horticulture, and I'm in their lives, and I can't just go in and rearrange everything that my parents have
No.
done. I don't have that right. So I'm grateful that my mom and dad allow me to co-parent with them, and slowly but surely I will re-enter their lives and use my mistakes as an example of things I've made a pathway for them not to experience.
All right. And what is the tattoo on your chest about?
It's a cover up. I've like I said, I've made poor choices, and it's a name that I wanted to get covered up.
Any gang affiliation with you?
No, Your Honor.
Drug use?
No, Your Honor.
So why did Child Protective Services come in?
Well, my parents adopted my kids 7 years ago, and at that time I was on a bad route.
All right. So what drugs were you using at that time?
I was smoking marijuana.
CPS does not. I did a lot of CPS cases. There was more going on than smoking marijuana. What else was going on?
No, I was just smoking marijuana, but I was in a very bad relationship with my daughter's dad, and that was another factor to bring into the.
And what's that father's name?
Eduardo Sotelo, but he's dead, and he rests in peace.
All right.
He died of a OD on synthetic marijuana. His heart exploded 3 years ago.
Okay. All right. This is what the court is going to do. There's a $1,500 fine. It will be probated. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. There's to be no contact and restitution to Michelle Young. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. Proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Random regular UAs. We can do a gang evaluation. Field visits. One time per month until further notice. In probation, once you all start doing the field visits, you all can always send me something if you wish to discontinue that. But for now, it's going to be one time per month until further notice. 200 hours of community service restitution. 8 years deferred adjudication. Anger management. Probation, is there anything else she needs? We'll do a TAP evaluation, and the TAP evaluation can be done out of custody. And follow TAP recommendations. If they recommend inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. And I'm gonna want 90 sober meetings in 90 days. Anything else, probation? All right, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
Judge, we're just gonna ask if she chooses to continue her academic career. Could some of those hours be used for community service?
Yes, but I will tell you this, if you're continuing with your academic career in this court, you must be doing at least 8 hours
Okay.
per semester.
Your Honor, is there any local parenting classes that you
Sure.
could refer me to?
Yes.
There's always.
All right,
good
I'll add
resources.
parenting classes.
Thank you.
And if she completes when she completes the parenting classes, we can knock off 100 hours of community service restitution.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Is there anything else you need from the court?
Thank you very much.
We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you. We can go off the record. In this court, probation is not easy. That's what the deputies tell me all the time.
But it's doable.
It's
very doable.
It's doable. So if there's an issue, discuss it with your probation officer. If you feel like they're not addressing it, you can always come to court and we will address it here.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
All right,
Thank
you're
you for this
welcome.
chance.
All right, you're welcome. All right, so we have Sunika left. And Deputy Mejia, you all can send Williams back. Norma, do a recall on that for tomorrow or either Thursday. Can I see the file on Josiah Williams? And if the attorney's not here, then we're gonna do something else. So if you'll let him know, we're gonna call him back. What date, Norma? All right, we'll recall him tomorrow. All right, and then Zuniga is the last one. Do we always just have afternoon dockets? No. That was a very quick answer. No, no. I just threw it out there. Just threw it out there.
Although I had been the only person used that later the last hour. It's always there waiting for me when I walk back there.
See, that's a good, they're good and bad things, right?
Every time I go downstairs to county, you have this many left, and this one go back, and this one go back.
Yeah. Yes. For tomorrow?
Yes, just for the last page. Okay. Get it for you, it's gonna have to grab it.
The most important.
Oh, Norma.
Okay.
Ruiz, the motions are being heard tomorrow.
Okay. The trial date is set, so I need him to come back that day.
Oh. I've already jinxed us because I looked at the docket and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be quick. But whenever I say that, it's always long. And when I think it's gonna be long, it's always short. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 7832, State of Texas versus Christopher Suniga. And Mr. Garcia, I know you had your surgery. If you want to sit in a chair, you can. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Eddie Garcia, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Zuniga?
Yes, ma'am.
Or is it Suniga?
Suniga, with an S.
All right. Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Probation, this is an application. Mr. Suniga, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, ma'am, we're gonna waiving count one and we're waiving the enhancement allegation. And we're proceeding on count 2, Judge.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Suniga, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense and count 2 of possession of controlled substance? Penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams. That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
You have, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Sunia, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count 2. Punishment is to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. There's a $500 fine. State recommends community supervision. They're taking in consideration NIMAC number 737373, 2023 CR 7833. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the agreement. The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 10 years and there be a TAP evaluation. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offense as charged in count 2, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Yes, guilty.
State any evidence?
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
Any objection?
No, no.
Mr. Suniga, I'm showing you what's entitled Wavering Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We will, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, just that, I realize and I'm obviously needed that he's got a prior trip to the pen. It was over 20 years ago. He managed to stay out of trouble, all this time. It's like a lot of people, drugs just got either the best of them or the worst of them. In this situation, the worst of them.
tells me that he's genuinely committed to try to get a handle on what caused him to use drugs. He's willing to take advantage of anything that offered through the probation office to help him achieve that goal. And, is asking the court to follow the plea agreement and come up with some conditions, either combinations of conditions of probation that will allow him to succeed with successful completion of a probated term, which is a long term, but it's up to him. He knows he's going to be on for 10 years, and he's willing to take that opportunity to give him a chance by the court.
All right, thank you. Do you have a support system?
Yes, Your Honor.
And who is that?
It's my sister and my mom right now, as we speak.
When is the last time you had contact with them?
I speak to my mom like two times a week. And she's helping me financially as well as my sister. She's owns a company, a burger company.
All right, how old are you?
I'm 39.
All right, so your mom should not be helping you financially. You got to get your life in order, you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so before you were taken into custody, how often were you using?
I was using on a weekly basis, and it was progressing. I try to stop, and it gets kind of tough, and then it with stress. I just don't know how to deal with it.
All right, do you have any children?
I guess I do.
And what are their ages?
He's 11 years old. Little boy, Jared Meyer.
Okay, so you only have one child?
Yes, Your Honor.
When's the last time you saw him?
I want to say about 2 months ago. I'm ordered by the court, child support. So I'll get to see him every first, second.
Okay, but I'm reading this report and it appears that you all were homeless at one point?
Yes, Your
Honor. All right, and the person you were with, is that the mother of the child or no?
No.
All right.
I no longer have contact with.
All right, so how do you know Jessica Dixon?
Just I met her through a friend and hooked up a little bit.
And Jennifer?
I don't know who Jennifer is.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna have you do your TAP evaluation in custody, because I think it's very important that you get the TAP evaluation done and immediately follow what conditions they are. And I know they're probably going to recommend inpatient treatment, and it appears that you need inpatient treatment. The reason why I'm doing that is because I know you have good intentions, and your intentions are, hey, judge, give me probation. I'm going to do A, B, and C. I'm ready to do it now. I'm going to leave the jail, and this is how I'm going to behave. But the problem is, from the courthouse to the jail to back in society, there's too much temptation for you. And we got to give you the tools that you need so you won't be tempted. Now, I know your attorney said you've been to prison before. So is there any gang affiliation as a result of that?
Actually, I'm not affiliated.
Okay. All right. We're still going to do a gang evaluation because that's going to be required. Okay. All right. This is what the court will do. Court will sentence you to 10 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 10 years. There's a $500 fine that will be probated. I'm going to want a gang evaluation done. And counsel, if they come back that he's active and there's an issue with that, you'll have to come back to the court and we'll address it then.
Understood.
Take in consideration NIMAG number 737373. 2023 CR 7833. There is to be a TAP evaluation in custody. Follow all TAP recommendations. Now, if you're honest with TAP, they're probably going to say inpatient treatment. You need to be honest with them because you are trying to get your life together. The last thing you want is your mom, your sister to have to identify your body, because sometimes the last time you use, that's the last time you use, and you'll be somebody found in San Antonio where people are trying to identify the body. You don't want that to happen, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be no unsupervised contact. with minors. There's going to be 300 hours of community service restitution. I'm not going to waive those hours because I think you need to stay busy. There's going to be parenting classes, proof of employment within 45 days of release, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Now, if your mom doesn't want you staying with her, you can't stay with her. People always say, mom wants me to stay with her, but they've never picked up the phone. And honestly, it's probably not a good idea because you'll be bringing your problems to her doorstep. You understand? So I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month until further notice. The UA hotline. All right. And we'll do 90 sober meetings in 90 days. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Until further notice. All right, is there anything you need from the court to be successful?
No, Your Honor, I just, want to thank you for the opportunity to get probation.
All right, you are welcome. All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question of what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. You understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. So if there's an issue with, that you have come up in your life, talk to probation. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can always come to court. And I guarantee you, once you get clean and sober and you're on that path, your eyes will brighten up and you'll be more present. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
But once you get on that track, you can't let other people get you off that track. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. So we're done, correct? All right, we'll be back tomorrow at exactly 9 a.m. Unless anyone else has some children for us to be with.